Chapter 1, Mishnah 2. The form of this Mishnah resembles that of the previous Mishnah, with the only difference being the source of the Tamei drop. Whereas Mishnah 1 refers to a Tamei drop falling into the puddle as a result of someone drinking out of it, in this Mishnah the drop falls in as a result of someone drawing water out of it. If someone drew water from the puddle with a Tamei container, and then a Tahor person drank from the puddle, the Tahor person is Tamei. This is because the Tamei container was being removed from the puddle. This is because as the Tamei container was being removed from the puddle, some drops of water which became Tamei by touching the container surely fell back into the puddle. We are concerned that one of those drops was included in the water the person drank, making him Tamei. The Mishnah gives a second example of Tuma caused by a drop that fell from the Tamei container used to draw water. If someone drew water from the puddle with a Tamei container, and then he drew water from the puddle with a Tahor container, the container is Tamei. This is because a Tamei drop presumably fell from the first container back into the puddle, and we are concerned that the Tamei drop was drawn into the Tahor container, making it Tamei. The Mishnah gives a third example of this nature. If someone drew water from the puddle with a Tamei container, and afterwards a loaf of terumah fell into the puddle, then it depends. If, after the loaf fell into the puddle, he rinsed the loaf with the water now on its surface, thereby showing his intent to use the water for a specific purpose, i.e. rinsing the loaf is Tamei because we assume that a drop fell from the Tamei container back into the puddle, and that drop, which is now on the loaf's surface, contaminates it. However, if he did not rinse the loaf after it fell into the puddle, but merely removed the loaf from the puddle and allowed it to dry, the loaf is tahor. This is because the Tamei drop that fell from the Tamei container had become tahor by being nullified in the puddle, which, being connected to the ground, was not susceptible to tuma. And that state of nullification continues in the water that is now in the loaf. Since all the water that is on the loaf is tahor, the loaf remains tahor.